Beyond the edge of the known world, where the Atlantic Ocean meets the Arctic Circle, there lies an island that should not exist. A land born from the violent collision of two tectonic plates. A land where the ground beneath your feet can split open without warning. A land where mountains are made of ice and fires burn beneath them. They call it Iceland, but this name, it is a lie. Or perhaps it is a warning. Did you know that Iceland contains 32 active volcanic systems, more than any other country of its relative size on the planet? Did you know that some of its glaciers are disappearing so fast that scientists predict they will be gone entirely by the year 2100? This is not just a travel film. It is a race against time. Yes, Yam. Iceland was never meant to exist. Most islands on this planet are born from the slow accumulation of coral or the gradual rise of sediment from the ocean floor. Iceland was born from fire, from a massive plume of magma that tore through the Earth's crust and refused to stop. Imagine a wound in the planet's surface that has been bleeding molten rock for 25 million years. That wound is the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, the seam where the Eurasian and North American tectonic plates are pulling apart at a rate of approximately 2.5 centimeters every year. It does not sound like much, but when you multiply that by 25 million years, you get an island the size of Ireland, ripped from the ocean floor by forces that still rage beneath it. There is only one place on this planet where you can walk between two continents without ever touching water. Thingvellir National Park. Here, the crack between worlds is so wide that you can descend into it, walk along its floor, and place one hand on North America and the other on Europe. But if you listen closely, if you press your ear to the cold volcanic rock, you can hear something deeper. The rumble of the planet reshaping itself. The same forces that built this island are still at work, and they are far from finished. Moving away from the continental divide, we venture deeper into Iceland's frozen heart, Vatnajökull. The name means water glacier in Icelandic, but this is not simply a glacier. It is a frozen ocean, the largest ice cap in all of Europe, covering 7,700 square kilometers. To put that in perspective, that is roughly the size of 1.5 million football fields, or equivalent to stacking more than 500 Empire State Buildings end to end. But Vatnajökull hides a secret that few visitors ever consider. Beneath this cathedral of ice, buried under more than 400 meters of frozen water, lie some of the most active volcanoes on the planet. Grímsvötn, Bárðarbunga, Öræfajökull. Names that mean little to the outside world, but to Icelanders, they are the giants that sleep beneath their feet. When one of these volcanoes erupts, it does not simply send ash into the sky. It melts the ice from below, releasing catastrophic floods known as jökullaps, walls of water, ice, and rock that can reach heights of several meters, destroying everything in their path. In 1996, the Grímsvötn volcano erupted beneath Vatnajökull. The resulting flood carried enough water to fill 45,000 Olympic-sized swimming pools in less than 2 days. Bridges vanished. Roads were erased from the map. The landscape was rewritten overnight. This is the reality of living on Iceland. The ground is never truly still, and the ice is never truly safe. But beyond its destructive power, Vatnajökull offers something else. Something achingly beautiful. Its meltwater feeds Jökulsárlón, the glacial lagoon, where icebergs break away from the main glacier and drift silently toward the sea. Some of these icebergs are over 1,000 years old. The air trapped inside them. It is air that was last breathed during the Viking Age. Imagine standing on the shore, watching a piece of history float past you, knowing that in a few days it will be gone forever. Melted into the vastness of the Atlantic, this is Iceland. This is what it means to live on the edge of time. But not all of Iceland's glaciers will survive long enough for us to admire them. In August of 2019, something unprecedented happened in Iceland. Scientists, politicians, and ordinary Icelanders gathered on a barren mountainside to hold a funeral. Not for a person, for a glacier. Ökjökull, known affectionately as OK, was the first Icelandic glacier to lose its status as a glacier. After centuries of retreat, it had become too thin to move under its own weight. And so, on that August day, a bronze plaque was installed into the rock where the ice had once been. It reads, "A letter to the future." OK is the first Icelandic glacier to lose its status as a glacier. In the next 200 years, all our glaciers are expected to follow the same path. This monument is to acknowledge that we know what is happening and what needs to be done. Only you know if we did it. Iceland has lost over 750 square kilometers of glacier coverage in just the last 2 decades. That is an area larger than the entire nation of Singapore erased, and the rate is accelerating. Scientists now believe that by the year 2100, within the lifetime of children born today, half of Iceland's glaciers may be gone entirely. Have you ever wondered what it sounds like when a glacier dies? It sounds like dripping water, constant, unending, like a clock that cannot be stopped. Each drop, a piece of Earth's memory returning to the sea, they never to be recovered. This is not simply about Iceland. What happens here is a preview, of what will happen to mountain glaciers around the world, from the Alps to the Himalayas to the Andes. Iceland is the canary in the coal mine, and the canary is beginning to fall silent. Farther west, beyond the ice fields, lies the other half of Iceland's identity. The fire that gave birth to this island and continues to reshape it every single year. Iceland sits directly atop one of the most volcanically active hotspots on the planet. Since the year 874, when the first Norse settlers arrived, Iceland has experienced more than 250 volcanic eruptions. That is roughly one eruption every 4.5 years, for 12 centuries. In 2010, the world learned a name it could barely pronounce. Eyjafjallajökull, a volcano buried under an ice cap, which erupted with such ferocity that it sent a plume of ash 9 kilometers into the atmosphere. Europe's airspace shut down for nearly a week. More than 100 flights, ozons. Flights were canceled. 10 million passengers were stranded. A tiny island in the North Atlantic had brought the modern world to its knees. But for Icelanders, volcanic eruptions are not disasters to be feared. They are simply a part of life, as natural as the sunrise. In March of 2021, the Reykjanes Peninsula, which had been silent for nearly 800 years, suddenly awoke. The Fagradalsfjall fissure opened, and for 6 months, lava poured across the landscape in a slow, mesmerizing river of molten rock. And something remarkable happened. Instead of running away, Icelanders ran toward it. Families brought their children. Couples got engaged beside the glowing lava fields. Scientists set up live streams that the entire world watched, because in Iceland, the planet's raw power is not hidden away behind fences and warning signs. It is present, it is visible, it is breathtaking. Moving away from the active volcanic zones, the geothermal energy that defines Iceland becomes visible in gentler forms. The Strákar geyser, which erupts every 6 to 10 minutes, shooting boiling water 30 meters into the air. The Blue Lagoon, a milky, turquoise pool heated by the Svartsengi geothermal plant, where travelers soak in water that began its journey 2,000 meters beneath the Earth's surface. This is not just a tourist attraction. It is a demonstration of how Iceland has learned to live with and harness the forces that created it. Today, nearly 100% of Iceland's electricity comes from renewable sources, geothermal and hydropower. The fire beneath the island does not just destroy, it also provides. But if fire is Iceland's soul, then water is its voice. Iceland receives an extraordinary amount of precipitation, rain, snow, and glacial melt that cascades from the highlands to the sea. Along the southern coast, where steep cliffs meet the Atlantic winds, this water becomes something truly magnificent. Skogafoss, a curtain of water 60 meters high and 25 meters wide. So powerful that the spray rising from its base creates permanent rainbows on sunny days. The Vikings who first saw this waterfall believed it hid a treasure chest behind its cascading wall. Legend says the first settler, Thrasi Thorolfsson, buried a chest of gold there. A young man once found the chest and grabbed its ring, but the chest escaped, leaving only the ring behind. That ring now hangs on the church door in Skogar village. The treasure was never recovered. But perhaps the real treasure was always the waterfall itself. Venturing deeper into the Golden Circle, we reach Gullfoss, the Golden Waterfall. It is not the tallest, it is not the widest, but there is something about Gullfoss that surpasses mere measurements. The water of the Vita River plunges 32 meters in two dramatic stages, turning at a right angle between the falls, as if the river itself is making a decision. And then, with unimaginable force, it disappears into a canyon so narrow that from certain angles the water seems to vanish into the center of the earth itself. In the early 20th century, foreign investors tried to build a hydroelectric dam here. A local woman named Sigríður Tómasdóttir fought them, walking barefoot to Reykjavik, threatening to throw herself into the falls if the project continued. The dam was never built. Sigríður is remembered today as Iceland's first environmental activist. Her stone memorial now stands at the top of Gullfoss, gazing out over the water she saved. But if you travel north to the edge of the Vatnajökull National Park, you will find the most powerful waterfall in all of Europe, Dettifoss. Here, 500 cubic meters of water thunder over the edge every single second, enough to fill an Olympic swimming pool in less than 5 seconds. The water is gray with sediment, carrying ground-up rock from the glacier above. This is not a gentle waterfall. This is nature at its most violent, a demonstration of force so absolute that the ground beneath your feet vibrates. The film Prometheus chose this waterfall as the opening scene of its story, the beginning of life on a distant planet. Standing here, you understand why. There is something primal about Dettifoss, something that makes you feel very small and very temporary in the best possible way. Leaving the highlands behind, we turn toward the sea, toward a coastline that looks like it belongs on another planet entirely. The southern coast of Iceland is not a place for gentle walks or sunset swims. The beaches here are black, made of volcanic sand ground down over millions of years by the relentless pounding of the North Atlantic. At Reynisfjara, basalt columns rise from the earth like the pipes of a giant cathedral organ. Just offshore, 3 stone pillars called Reynisdrangar pierce through the waves. Legend says these pillars were once trolls, caught dragging a ship to shore as the first light of dawn touched their skin. In Iceland, even the rocks have stories. But this beauty comes with danger. The waves at Rhenus Fiara are notorious sneaker waves that surge far higher and farther than the ones before them, capable of dragging even the strongest swimmers into the freezing Atlantic. Signs at the beach entrance warn visitors. Some do not listen. The ocean here is never calm. It is a body of water that has claimed ships, lives, and legends for over 1,000 years. A short distance east lies a beach unlike any other on the planet. They call it Diamond Beach. Here, icebergs that break away from the Jökulsárlón Glacier Lagoon drift out to sea, only to be washed back onto the black volcanic sand by the tide. The result is a shoreline scattered with ice sculptures, each one unique, each one temporary. Some are clear as glass. Others glow with an electric blue that seems to come from within, the result of centuries of compression, squeezing every air bubble out of the ancient ice. To walk this beach is to walk through an art gallery curated by nature itself. Every piece is a masterpiece, and every piece will be gone by tomorrow. But beyond its geology, beyond its waterfalls and volcanoes and glaciers, Iceland is also a story about people. Only 390,000 people live on this island, fewer than the population of a single mid-sized European city. And yet, this tiny nation has produced a literary tradition that stretches back 1,000 years. The Icelandic sagas, written in the 13th century, are among the oldest and most sophisticated works of medieval literature in all of Europe. Stories of family feuds, voyages to unknown lands, and encounters with the supernatural. Written in a language so well preserved that modern Icelanders can still read them without translation. Icelanders have a saying, "Theta redast." It roughly translates to, "It will all work out." It is not optimism in the traditional sense. It is something deeper. A resilience born from living on an island that can kill you with a single winter storm or a single volcanic eruption. When you live in a place where the ground can open up beneath you, you learn not to worry about the small things. Every town in Iceland has a swimming pool, heated by geothermal water, open year-round, even in the depths of winter when temperatures drop far below freezing. These pools are not just for swimming. They are Iceland's living rooms, places where strangers become neighbors, where political debates are settled, where friendships are forged in steaming water while snow falls on your head. No falls on your head. There's something profoundly human about this. In a land defined by extremes, the Icelanders have created a culture of warmth. But perhaps the most haunting spectacle that Iceland offers is not on the land at all. It is in the sky, the aurora borealis, the northern lights. Charged particles from the sun, traveling 150 million kilometers through space, colliding with Earth's magnetic field, and producing colors that no human artist has ever truly captured. Green is the most common, but on rare nights, deep purples and reds appear, twisting across the darkness like the breath of some ancient god. And then there is the other extreme. From mid-May to late July, the sun never truly sets on Iceland. At midnight, the sky glows with an eerie, golden light, the midnight sun, but suspended just above the horizon, bathing the landscape in a perpetual twilight. It is disorienting. It is beautiful. This is the Maldives. It is a reminder that this island exists at the very edge of what our planet considers normal. To experience the midnight sun is to feel slightly unmoored from time itself, as if the ordinary rules of day and night have been suspended, just for you, just for now. Iceland is not simply an island in the North Atlantic. It is a mirror, reflecting back at us the forces that created our planet and the fragility of everything we take for granted. Every glacier that melts here is a warning. Every volcano that erupts is a reminder that the Earth is not a passive stage on which we play out our lives, but a dynamic, living system that can reshape itself at any moment. A poet might say that Iceland is where the planet practices what it means to be alive. Some places impress us because they are beautiful. Iceland does something more. It humbles us. It reminds us that we are guests on this planet, temporary visitors on a world that has existed for 4.5 billion years and will continue long after we are gone. The ice is melting. The ground is shifting. The island that should not exist is slowly transforming into a something new. And perhaps that is the true gift of Iceland. Not the landscapes, though they are among the most extraordinary on Earth. Not the waterfalls, though they will take your breath away. But the perspective it grants you. The quiet, undeniable truth that nothing lasts forever. Not the glaciers, not the mountains, not us. So we must see it while we can. We must witness the fire and the ice, the light and the darkness, the silence and the roar, and carry those memories with us. Long after the glaciers have disappeared into the sea, because in Iceland, nature is not simply a landscape. It is the force that defines everything that exists here. And to witness it, even once, is to understand something profound about what it means to be alive on this extraordinary planet we call home. Please join the Wild Universe by clicking subscribe the Wild Universe and sharing this video with fellow enthusiasts. Thank you for listening. See you in our next exploration.